Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum and Salam Sejahtera. Welcome for our today lesson of Chemistry from 5 Chapter 2, Carbon Compound. So before we proceed, what are we going to learn today is very much rather different from any of the chemistry topic that you have learned previously, such as redox, bonds and such as and several things more. So for today's lesson, before I proceed, I would like to show you some of the pictures first, because picture is what attract us, right? So the first picture that I would like to show you is the picture of this petrol pump nozzle. Yes, this petrol pump nozzle is what our father would use every day to fill up the petrol tank on of their cars, right? And the next one is this picture of plastics. Every plastic bottle that used to contain shampoo, body bath, body gel, even mask and something, whatever, they use this plastic. So this one, rather a group of people having a construction or road construction works, and specifically what I want to show you in this picture is what they use is the add bitumen or asphalt to coat over the road for road construction. And this one is the picture of rubber, or what our nation proud of for several years, rubber. And the last one is the picture of this vinegar, what our mom would use every day in the kitchen, in their cooking, or even baking and so on. So what are the connection of very much every of this picture that I've shown you? So this connection is that all of this picture is what we call as a organic compounds. So what are organic compounds actually? Organic compound can be defined as the compound that is derived from living organism, that can be animals or plants or even bacteria. And the most important thing, this organic compound must contain carbon. So at this very moment, you might want to ask me, teacher, why must carbon be one of the most important thing in the organic compound? So to answer that, I want to show you the basis of carbon atom itself. So carbon atom, as we have learned before, it has an electron arrangement of 2-4, right? 2-4 means that it has 2 electrons on the inner side, and the outer side it has 4 valence electron. So why carbon is much important chemical species in the organic compounds, because their abilities to make bonds into 4 different compounds. They can make bonds with hydrogen, oxygen, or even another carbon atom itself, because of their very much a lot of carbon on the outer sides. So they can make a variety of compound. And the second reason is that carbon is a non-metal. So we cannot have a metal in our organic compound, because if we have metal in our organic compound, we would call it as an inorganic compound. So metal cannot be in our organic compound. We cannot use sodium, we cannot use magnesium, we cannot use calcium, and many more. So carbon is one of the important element in the organic compound itself. So proceeding to another part of the chapter or topic, which is hydrocarbon. So we might want to ask you, you might want to ask me, what is hydrocarbons? So hydrocarbons is a compound that contains only carbon and hydrogen. So I want to show you rather examples of explaining very much. So give me a minute. Okay, so organic compound, hydrocarbons can be divided into 3 different types. The first type is a saturated hydrocarbon. The second type is the unsaturated hydrocarbon. And the last is aromatic hydrocarbon. So why we call it a saturated? Saturated like dense, like saturated is because they have only single bond between carbon-carbon atom. And the example is alkane. So what are the structures of this alkane? So I can show you the structure of alkane in this example of propane. So why do we call it as an alkane? Because we only have one bond or single bond between the carbon-carbon atom, hence making it saturated compound. So we call it as a saturated hydrocarbons. So in naming this, we call it as a propane, and we can use this, or we can write this in the condensed formula of CH3, CH2, CH3. CH3 is explaining on this part of the compound, CH2 explaining on the center part of the compound, and CH3 is explaining on the later part of the compound. So in general, we can write it as a C3H8. So later you're going to learn on how to name this formula, how to actually recognize whether it's alkene or not, and rather how to recognize between alkene or between double bond, and so on. So thank you for listening.